Hoje, no Algo a Dizer, conversamos com o advogado americano David Dishman, fundador do Dishman Law PC, escritório de advocacia especializado em direitos trabalhistas no estado de Massachusetts. Com décadas de experiência, Dishman tem orientado trabalhadores, incluindo motoristas de aplicativo como Uber e Lyft, sobre hora extra, compensação justa e a classificação correta de funcionários, ajudando especialmente a comunidade imigrante a reivindicar seus direitos sobre a lei trabalhista nos Estados Unidos. Quer saber mais sobre o assunto? Fica aqui conosco agora no Algo a Dizer, que o advogado David Dishman vai explicar tudo o que você precisa saber. Good evening,
Good evening,
Mr.
Anna.
David Dishman. Can I call you David?
Of course.
It's a pleasure to welcome to Algo a Dizer. It's a pleasure to have you here today with us, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us and with our audience.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm very happy to share what I know.
Oh, thank you so much. My first question is, can you share with us how you first became involved in labor and employment law, and what motivates you to focus on workers' rights?
Well, I've had Brazilian friends over the years, over like 40 plus years, and that it's come to my attention that many Brazilian workers in Massachusetts are mistreated and mispaid. And what I'd like to focus on today is Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers.
Oh, awesome. In your experience at Dishman Law, what are the most common violations of labor law that immigrant workers face in the U.S.?
I would say that the most common one is to be misclassified as an independent contractor when they don't meet, that's right, any of the qualifications as an independent contractor. And that's the case with Uber and Lyft drivers in Massachusetts. Uber and Lyft drivers in Massachusetts have been misclassified as independent contractors. That's right. That's what the courts have decided.
Okay. And how does U.S. law define the difference between an employee and an independent contractor? And why does this distinction matter for gig economy workers like Uber or Lyft drivers?
Well, it matters a lot because if you're classified as an independent contractor, then you're not subject to help for your tax burden to state and federal. So that means that as a result of being misclassified, then you have to pay all your taxes. But they should have been classified as employees. And as an employee, the employer would have to pay some of your taxes. And there are many other benefits also that they're missing out on.
And we often hear from Uber and Lyft drivers, particularly Brazilians and other immigrants, who struggle with unpaid overtime or incorrect tracking of their work hours. How does your firm step in to help workers in this situation?
Well, we can't do anything about the hours because they are what they are, but yeah, we can do a lot as far as being misclassified as independent contractors. And being classified as an independent contractor, you have lost out on many benefits.
Also, what legal protections exist for workers who are afraid to assert their rights because of their immigrant status?
Excellent question. It doesn't matter if you're here, illegally or legally, if you're undocumented or if you're documented. Workers have the same rights if you're documented or if you're undocumented. So don't be afraid to contact us or any lawyer about an immigration or about a labor or employment issue. They cannot penalize you.
Most of them are afraid because the actual political from ICE, they
Right,
are
of being deported.
being deported.
Yeah, very sad situation as far as the ICE goes. We don't have anything to do with that. But we have done hundreds of these misclassification cases, and now one of our clients has been deported as a result of our action. Not one.
One.
Not one.
Not one.
Zero.
Zero clients were
Right.
deported.
And we don't report anybody also, too. We don't sort of call up ICE or INS and say, hey, so-and-so is undocumented, go pick them up. We have no communication with ICE or the police or anybody else. This is strictly, it's all confidential, and it's between us and the client and Uber and Lyft.
Okay. But they are afraid to come to the court, and in the court, someone arrests them.
Excellent question. These aren't court cases because Uber and Lyft have been very smart. They have put a clause in all their contracts saying you can't sue us in court. The only remedy that you have is arbitration, to file an arbitration claim. So there's no court involved. No court. And what we've been finding is that after many, many cases that we've handled is that none of our cases have had to go to arbitration, which is like a little court, which is like an informal court.
Okay, got you. Can you explain how overtime compensation works under the U.S. labor law, and why many employees do not receive the pay they owed?
Well, if you're an employee and if you're not getting overtime pay for all the hours that you work in excess of 40, then they have broken the law. And that Massachusetts has some of the best employment laws in the country. They're very strict, and if an employer breaks those laws, then the employee is entitled to treble damages plus attorney's fees. So that would mean that if you're found to be misclassified as an independent contractor, and we go to arbitration and then we get an award, you're entitled to 3 times your actual damages. So if you're owed, like, say, $10,000, they have to pay you $30,000. And they have to pay my fee as well.
I need to get a picture of this in a common situation. How this that you just said now applies to Uber and Lyft drivers.
Okay. Well, the courts in Massachusetts have all ruled that rideshare drivers they're employees, and they should be classified as employees. But as a result of not being classified as employee, they're classified as an independent contractor. And as a result of that, you don't get the same rights. But I think there was another part to your question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you answered the question. Yeah.
Yeah, you sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thank you. But
does it make me answer if I haven't answered the question?
No, but it's okay. What steps can the immigrant community take to become more informed and empowered about their labor rights in the United States, and how does Dishman law support that education?
Well, I can speak to only Massachusetts law, and as I said, they have very strict laws in favor of the employee. So if you think you have been discriminated against, if you think that you're not getting paid properly, if you're not getting overtime pay for all your hours in excess of 40, call Dishman Law, 617-523-5252.
Okay.
617-523-5252.
617-617
523
523
5252.
523-5252.
Or David at Dishman Law. So that's DAVID at Dishman Law, DISHMANLAW.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for explaining that. In the U.S., many workers don't realize that working more than 40 hours in a week may legally entitle them to overtime pay.
That is correct.
What
And
should
an example of that is if you're being paid at $20 per hour, any hour after 40 should be paid at $30 an hour.
Oh.
So it's time and a half.
Good to know. What should employees know about their rights in this situation, and what can they do if the employers refuse to pay overtime?
If you don't think you're getting paid overtime, if you're an employee and you're not getting paid overtime, call Dishman Law at 617-523-5252.
Okay. In your experience, do you have, would you share some specific situation, some specific case with us?
Absolutely. Just today, I got a new client in who was a carpenter. He was making $28 an hour, but he was working way over 40 hours per week. So as a result of that, his $28 an hour, he should have been paid, what's that? Sorry, 28, plus 14, whatever that is, $42 an hour. So he's entitled to the difference. So that would be an extra $14 an hour that he was deprived of. And not only that, is that he's entitled to triple that amount.
Wow.
Triple that amount.
That is a lot of money.
Up very, very quickly.
And it's easy to if they contact you, it's easy to get this.
Yes. Yeah. What I would look at are pay stubs or something like that, or if you have anything from your your employer showing the amount that you're paid and the hours that you worked, we can figure it out easily.
So anything, when you said anything, you are talking about maybe text message, anything is approved, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Emails, texts, anything like that, pay stubs, to show that if you were working like 50 hours a week, that you should be getting time and a half.
Wow. Okay.
And the overtime violations, in my opinion, are very prevalent in Massachusetts, especially with the immigrant community, especially Brazilians, often in the 508 area, the Framingham, Milford area.
Yeah, we have a lot of employees in this situation, but they don't know about that, and they, as we said before, they are afraid to talking about the problems, the issues in this matter.
Yeah, and something else is if you're currently working for a company that's not paying, that's their overtime, they can't fire you for complaining. They cannot fire you for complaining. So if you come to us and that if we file a complaint against the employer for not paying overtime, if you get terminated as a result of our doing that, then the employer is in big trouble. They can't fire you.
And then they can ask for help in your office.
Yeah. Yep, Dishman Law, 617-523-5252. We would be happy to help. Also, free consultations, too. If you call us up, if we can't take your case, if we don't take your case, or if we do take your case, no consultation fees.
So bad we need to finish this program.
Oh, no. Well, invite me back. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Anna, you're a delight.
Yeah, please come again.
Okay.
And bring something new to share with us.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Bom, nós chegamos ao final de mais um Algo a Dizer, hoje instruindo você sobre direitos trabalhistas nos Estados Unidos. Eu espero que você entre em contato com o escritório Dishman Law PC. Você pode entrar em contato, e você que precisa e gostaria de falar em português, ele tem atendimento em português. 508-304-2849, para você que gostaria de ser atendido em português via WhatsApp, 508-304-2849. E também tem atendimento em inglês, óbvio, 617-523-5252 e 617-999-4297. Espero que você tenha curtido o programa de hoje. Again, thank you so much for your participation with us. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your experience. Come again, please.
Obrigado, Ana.
Oh, wow!
Tchau, tchau.
Tchau, tchau. E tchau, tchau para você também. Fique com o nosso muito obrigada pela tua audiência e eu te encontro no próximo Algo a Dizer.